You're not about that life, champ. I can see it.
Game over, man. Game over.
He runs with the 50. He runs with the 40. The guy is drunk.
Come on. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it. I want winners.
Here we go.
Play to win the game.
That was one heck of a timeout.
I mean, listen, we're talking about practice.
Ron is in trouble.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
B.A. Hunter Sarcastically Speaking About Sports podcast.
Sarcastically Speaking About Sports. Yep, doing it again. Yep. Fuck, am I out of breath? Doing that walking the dog, laying down the podcast because it's called it's called multitasking. That's the ticket. Here comes a big fucking Corona truck. Find your beach. Yeah, this podcast is sponsored by Corona. Find your beach. Because I'm not finding any money from them. Yes. The amazing thing is that, like, the podcast, doing it like this, the audio is not that bad. And again, like I said, I'm killing two birds with one stone. But holy shit. It's a Monday morning. What's the date? Anybody know what the date is? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? What's today's date? Let's see. November 4th. Monday, November 4th is the date. So, hey, fresh off a slate of Sunday football games, which was culminated Patriots-Ravens. What can I say? Wow, is what I can say. That game lived up to the fucking hype. It did. Big time lived up to the hype. Patriots lose, they give up, was it 37-19? The score is immaterial. It was slated Lamar Jackson, the young gun, the new arm, the new set of legs, the most dazzling athletic quarterback in recent years, a.k.a. another one of them scrambling dudes that can chuck it, but is about to fucking meet his maker in the New England Patriots in the hood. But then there's all these reports about how apparently the Patriots don't really fare that well against mobile quarterbacks. They have problems. To which I'm like, yeah, whatever. Belichick is going to shut that shit down. It's not going to matter one way or the other. Well, Lamar and them, from the first drive, they set the tone of the game. The first series, he just went down the field, and you could see that, they're doing that pistol thing. He's running options, and the thing is like, I remember a couple years ago when the fucking Wildcat, that was like 10 years ago, when that was the popular move, and then people went away from it because they figured out how to defend it. And the thing with that Lamar Jackson dude is that he is a legitimately good quarterback. And I've listened to lots of podcast interviews, everything about him, and the conventional thinking is on most mobile quarterbacks is that, like, eventually you're going to take too much damage and that it's going to be the end. You're not going to have a long career. Newsflash. The average NFL player's career is like 3 years. So if he can sustain playing that way for, let's say, 5 or 6 years, you know what? He has greatness. He may even win a title, as opposed to just being mediocre like everybody else and doing nothing. So you got to ask yourself, what do you want? So I think I'm with the convention. I'm not with the conventional wisdom anymore. I think I want to just see that guy do what he does. That sounds kind of what I just said there sounds illiterate. I just want to see Lamar do Lamar. Okay? If he wants to have 102 yards and 177 yards passing, I want to see it. Crazy thing about that game is that the Patriots, Tom Brady, what is this, his 20-something years, like 42 years old. Lamar Jackson was 5 years old when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl. Shit. Fucking amazing. The Patriots, they looked like they had a couple chances, a couple of opportunistic turnovers, methodically moving the ball. But it was almost like it was like a prize fight to where the Ravens took some shots, actually got knocked down, but then got back up, gathered themselves, and finished strong. So, Patriots lose, drop from the ranks of the undefeated. They're now 8-1, but like, it's one of those things to where, and this is what I think. Like, if you have a team, your team is they're like 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, and they start to get to the end of the season, and then people start babbling about that perfect season bullshit. That's no one's ever gonna go undefeated ever again, which is bullshit. Because I wish I could have saw it, and the Patriots losing the Super Bowl fucked it up. I wanted to see it. You can hate the Patriots, but I wanted to see perfection. Well, my point is this: is that if your team's good, I'd rather lose a regular season game that means nothing, as opposed to a playoff game that means your season's fucking over. So when it's all said and done, the Patriots, yeah, that's fine. We'll lose that game. And if we see you in the AFC Championship game, you best believe they'll have some shit dialed up for Mr. Jackson. You best believe. Oh, yeah. Don't look now, but I think I wish I need some celebration music. Add that shit maybe in the post-production. That's what we'll do. You don't know anything about that. My fucking Denver Broncos. My 2-6 Denver Broncos at home beat Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. Yes! To which, again, I love my Broncos, but I know our season at this point is over. We're not going to playoffs. We're not doing anything. So it's one of those things where you're just kind of like, I watch the games, but I tell myself I don't want to be emotionally invested. But the one thing about the Broncos that they keep doing to me this season is like they've lost a lot of games, but I think they were only blown out in like one. All the other ones they've lost in the fourth quarter. They're winning. They'll be winning from the onset, but then just a couple of mistakes, a timeout, fucking up. Flacco's trash. End up losing. I think the week before, we lost to the Colts and with a field goal in the very end. Yeah, well, not this time, because you got the malcontent that is Baker Mayfield, fresh off of his freaking out on some reporter. The Browns are they have all the talent in the world but can't win a game, and you know why? Coaching sucks. They should have stuck with Greg Williams from last year. That defensive coordinator psychopath, because he's the one that had him going in the right place. No, they got this Freddie Kitchen guy who fucks everything up. It's like you can get a mediocre team and have good coaching, and you can coach them up to be a contender. AKA, dude, a lot of those Patriots teams, you look at it talent for talent, they don't have that much talent. It's fucking coaching. Freddie Kitchens and them, they're the other thing. They lose to my Broncos, lose to a dude, a new Allen to the scene. This would be Brandon Allen making his first start. I think the dude was on the practice squad at the beginning of the season, and comes out. He's not doing the normal just check down shit. They're not handing out, dude. They're chucking the ball down the field. He had at least, I know he had a 45-yarder and broke off another. He had that one where he hit that tight end, Fant, who we got in the first round, and that guy rolled right through the whole Cleveland Brown backfield. Rumbled for a touchdown. Lindsey looking good, broke a couple. But all in all, hey, we got to win. And you could bet me this. Joe Wacko, or Flacco, whatever the fuck you want to call that guy, he's done. They said he's on they're going to put him he's on an injury on the shelf for 4 to 6 weeks. He's on the shelf for the season. Somebody should just give him his check, his severance pay, and just tell him to kick rocks. Because, seriously, kick rocks, Mr. Flacco. We don't need you and your services anymore. We're moving the fuck on. And that's all I got to say about that. I think it's sad but true. I think that the G Minshew, the Mississippi mustache. I think it might be his time might be coming to an end. Nick, what's his Nick Folk? Nick, the Big Dick Nick, a.k.a. Nick. Why can't I think of Nick Foles? Apparently he's coming back from injury. He's going to be They lose. The Jaguars lose in London to the Texans. To the Deshaun Watson-led Texans. And the Texans are without the services of J.J. Watt. I guess he tore a tricep muscle in the game. He's done for the season. That guy's ended a lot of seasons early as of late. It's one of those times where it's like, yeah, you might be time to wrap your crib. I don't even think he might be in his early 30s, but Lord knows he's made the cash. So he'll be all right. I could see him moving on to being in WWE or some shit. Yeah. But I think that, yeah, their time is past. Texans are just one of those teams where they hang around, they'll make it into the playoffs and then get beat. You know, much to the chagrin of their head coach, Bill O'Brien, who sucks. He's another guy with talent but can fuck it up. So with the 49ers, man, they actually played, Thursday night. Won, and they're 8-0. Holy shit, the 49ers are 8-0. And they're for real 8-0. You can bitch about that. Who the fuck have they played? Who the fuck have they played? It doesn't matter. They're winning the games. And I think, like I said in the previous podcast, I laid down, they're looking at, to me, one of those teams are going to dominate. They're not going to go undefeated throughout the season. They're going to dominate. They're going to get into the playoffs. They're going to have like a first-round bye. And they'll get in the playoffs and then get their heads kicked in, and that'll be the end of your season. It's like, fuck. What's the point? But yeah, they're 8-0. And then you flip it. Oh, shit, maybe I should bust out some more celebration music. The Miami fucking Dolphins got themselves a win. The Brian Flores-led Miami Dolphins got themselves a win, and I didn't realize this little fun fact. They got the win against Crazy Eyes Adam Gase. They lose. Jets lose to the Dolphins. I kind of wanted to see the Dolphins not win a game so that they could be the first team in history a franchise to have a season to where they were undefeated and a season where they didn't win a game. But fuck it. They fucked all that up. And apparently Flores used to coach under Gase at some point. I don't know. Some have suggested that maybe it was an inside job. The Jets, they're an interesting team. I mean, you start the season because your quarterback has mono. Well, you can't start the season because he's got mono. You start up, I think it's Trevor Seaman, another third string guy. I mean, they had a whole litany of quarterbacks. The Jets quarterback comes back. I can't think of his name right now. But Sam Darnold, yeah. Darnold comes back. First game back, he plays against beats the fucking Dallas Cowboys convincingly. So you're like, huh? Maybe they're on their way up. Yeah, well, then they go and play the Patriots and get their heads kicked in, and you feel bad for Darnold, the young kid, because in the press conference it's like I was seeing ghosts, and that's all people are gonna remember about him for the rest of the career. It's not gonna make a difference if he fucking wins a Heisman Trophy. He wins a Super Bowl MVP. They're gonna remember the ghost comment. That's it. That's just like with Sanchez. Mark Sanchez, the infamous Thanksgiving butt fumble where he ran into his offensive line and fumbled it. You hear Mark Sanchez, you think butt fumble. He should just put that on the back of his jersey, butt fumble, number 2. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I forgot to mention this. Mr. Brandon Allen of the Broncos, you need to take off that number 2. That's my number. I have a Broncos jersey, number 2, and I've talked about this before. I get jerseys, but I don't get jerseys with players' names on the back of them because players come and go. I'm a fan. I'm always going to be there. All right, and ran. So yeah, the Jets are nice enough to oblige the Dolphins with a win. So now there's only one team with no wins, and that would be the Cincinnati Bengals, who, imagine this, we're on a bye. So, hey, And now they have to, and it sucks, dude. The last couple games I've seen with the Bengals, they don't seem like they're that bad, but I think that in a way they've kind of checked out. The fucked up thing is you can't blame it on Marvin Lewis because they finally fired him. To which a lot of people don't even really know that. Apparently, there was reports that what's the Red Rocket? He wanted out of there. Yeah, he wanted out of there, and he wanted to trade. But apparently they're going to bench him. But hey, you're on the Bengals and you're not fucking winning shit. What can I say? I think we walked by this part with this fucking dickhead dog that has to let his presence be known. Yeah. So the Packers lose. They lose to the Chargers. And interestingly, I'm watching that game. I'm not really watching. I'm watching it on the red zone. And the Packers had no offense. The Chargers had just enough. It's like they're D'ing them up. And the thing with the Packers is, I'm seeing they're playing, and I'm like, they're fucking 7-1. They're like a sneaky 7-1. To where it's one of those things you didn't know they're just sitting right there below the surface. They lose, and the Chargers, they're just confusing. Like you'll win games that, like, i.e. this one, that you don't even really see coming, and then get blown out by teams you just. I mean, what can I say? Phillip Rivers has been around forever. I mean, decent enough quarterback, but I think it's the best you're going to get out of him. I mean, I don't even know what is there an air after that? Who's their backup? I think it's Tyrod Taylor. I mean, they're in the AFC West, and the AFC West is say what you want. They're I guess they're in the thick of it. Maybe they could scratch maybe second, but they're not going to get into the play. But they're one of those teams. Phillip Rivers is one of those teams to where, like, they can go on a run. They're fucking known for that. Towards the end of the season, just to start winning games, go on a run and get hot, and then either barely get into the playoffs or barely don't. I don't know, just one of those teams. But again, yeah, they beat the Packers, the Aaron Rodgers-led Packers, which I'm always glad to see that guy fucking lose. That guy's a douche. Yeah. Raiders at home. After being on the road for like 6 weeks, they come back and give their followers, their fans, because, dude, say what you want about the Raiders, their fucking fans are the real deal. They're faithful, man. I'm trying to hear that shit. There's your boy Derek Carr, who can only throw the ball like 10 yards at a time. I mean, if you look at that dude, any plays you see, it's never down the field. But they hold off the Lions and get the win. It looked like for a minute the Lions are another one of those teams. The Lions and Stafford, that quarterback, he's a guy, like, he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, but, like, he's never won anything significant. And you never ever really hear, like, their fans or players saying, look, we need to get rid of this fucking dude. He stinks. So you never hear, it's like they're kind of indifferent. I mean, because he puts up decent numbers, but they just can't bring it home for whatever reason. Matt Patricia, one of the many head coaches, he of the on the sideline with the headset and the play call sheet and the pencil in the back of his ear. You're not using that pencil for anything. He's another Patriots disciple. And I was watching Belichick in that game against the Ravens last night, and he had this play sheet and the things, and he actually had a pencil, but he was actually using it because that motherfucker's old school. Okay. But yeah, Raiders are 4-4. Yeah, they're another team. They'll probably creep into the playoffs and not do a whole hell of a lot of anything, if you ask me. Chiefs. Fucking Chiefs. Who did they play? Who did the Chiefs play? I don't remember. Who did they beat? Because they held on for a damn win. But which team was it? I don't really remember. All I know is that Mahomes has been on the rack for, what is it? They beat the Vikings, the Kirk Cousin-led Vikings. Adam Thielen, wide receiver, starts the game. Good morning. He starts the game and then ends up back on the bench because he re-injured his hamstring too. Which, why am I talking about him? Because I have that dude on my fantasy team. I've basically punted fantasy at this point. I'm losing records in both leagues. The one league against my wife, I started out 5-0, and I've gone on a 5-game. No, 4-0. I've gone on a 5-game losing streak. So, and the one I'm in, I'm like 2-7. I can't buy a fucking win. But Mahomes been on the rack 2 weeks. Chiefs win with backup Matt Moore. Matt Moore. Apparently, the fucking dude was like a science teacher? They give him a call, and he actually looks good, really good. He doesn't look like a backup, and I guess his career record is he's like 500 starts. He's like 15-15, which, hey, good for him. And it's one of those things where you're looking at, man, maybe other teams will take a look at him and say, man, maybe we should try to get him for next year. And dude, that never, ever, 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 never, ever goes well when teams try to do that shit. You try to grab a player who was hot the year before, some backup, you bring him into your system and he just fucking struggles. It never works. Remember Matt Castle back in the day when the one time TB12 didn't play and he compiled that 13-2 record and they get punched in the head. Then he goes on. I think it was the Chiefs that signed him, and he was dog shit. Wasn't good at all. It's like just you can't recreate that magic, man. It can't happen. You just stick with what you have. Stick with your playbook. But I mean, dude, the talent, the speed that the Chiefs have. Tyreek Hill. I didn't realize that Damian Williams guy was as fast as he was. Jesus Christ. Good morning. And you have that. You have that. That. That would have went bad right there. She had two big old dogs. That dog would have tripped her. It'd have been like, I've fallen and I can't get up. Anyway, that wasn't nice. But where was I? Lost my fucking train of thought. Yeah, they just have talent, and they're fast. Yeah, you have to play where Damian Williams is running for a touchdown. Tyreek Hill catches up with them. They haven't clocked at 22.2 miles an hour, to which I don't know where they get that. I just hear the announcers say it, so it must be true. I mean, yeah. So yeah, he's keeping them above water. They'll be ready for Mr. Mahomes' return. Mahomes. The Seattle Seahawks, they beat the Jameis Winston-led Tampa Bay Bucks, to which, dude, Jameis Winston, or even Tampa Bay, dude, they're a fun team to watch. They don't win games, but they're fun to watch. And it can't be for not trying. Jameis Winston puts up stats. I think I wouldn't mind Jameis Winston as my quarterback because at least he lays it out there. Because they bring the comparison between him and Mariota, who's been benched for Tannehill on the Titans. Crab legs, that guy, he actually puts up stats, but it was all for naught. I mean, dude, Russell Wilson is playing some MVP fucking football. He refuses to let that team lose. And he's a complete quarterback. What's DK Metcalf, that defensive end masquerading as a wide receiver they drafted this year? Oh, man, he's been a steal. And again, so I'm watching that game. I knew he wasn't going to let them lose that game, and he didn't. He didn't. Not for what he was like, come on, Westbrook. It's Wilson. Beat him in overtime. Yeah, beat him in overtime. The Eagles, Chicago Bears. The Eagles, they're another team that just kind of hangs around. Carson Wentz, I think, is fucking overrated. He's another guy on my fantasy bench. I want to just cut him. They were winning that game 19-0. The Bears were getting boat raced. But then all of a sudden, the Bears wake up and start, and I'm talking to my boy C-Note about it, and he's like, yeah, I've been here before. I know what's going to fucking happen here. Oh, yeah, I've seen this. They're going to come back and lose it. They don't. The Eagles hold on. And newsflash, Darryl Sproles is still playing. That little scat bat, he's still playing. He should hang it up. I think he fractured both of his ankles at the same time. But yeah, both of those quarterbacks, Trubisky, he's garbage. He even if he starts the rest of the season, he's long for not being there. I think the Trubiscaholics, as they've been called, the Trubisky backers are done. They probably got rid of him because he had his own burger. I'll take the Mitch Trubisky with extra provolone, you fucking asshole. Yeah, they probably stopped selling the Trubisky. Yeah, because he's horrible. And again, like I said, Carson Wentz, overrated. Overrated. They don't really have any receivers either, but that's not my fucking problem. I'm not an Eagles fan, so what do I care? Steelers. Oh yeah, well, a long break there. Steelers steal. Get it? See what I did there? The Steelers steal a win away from the Colts. The Kobe Brissett. Well, he led at one point throughout the game, and then I think they're saying it's like a MCL sprain. And Brian Hoyle comes in, and I don't really watch the game. I just turn it on, and I see they're in the red zone. The Colts are about to score, and he throws a pick, and then the back he's that guy Minshew, the guy that they cherry picked. This was cherry picked from the Dolphins. Grabs it and commences to run it back. So it was a pick. So pick six. So you go from thinking you're going to score to getting scored on all in one play. But I mean, the dude shook it off and threw 2 more touchdowns. But in the end, they lost. And why did they lose? Because it came down to a fucking kicker for the Colts. It came down to 48-year-old Adam Vinatieri, who hooked the shit out of that kick. But they're saying that the holder, it was laces out. So yeah, the Steelers, they get out with a win. And the thing about the Steelers, their season was fucked from the very beginning when Roethlisberger was hurt. You put this other, you get this other cat. It's really, how far are they going to go? And I'm sorry, Juju Smith-Schuster, he's another overrated dude. That receiver, I'm saying he's gotten all these commercials because he got out from underneath the shadow of Antonio Brown, and he's the number one receiver, but I don't see him doing really number one seasons type shit. I just see the commercials. And maybe it's just because his team, they don't really have a running game. Well, they do. Was it Connor? I think he's he's another guy. He's hurt a lot. And it's kind of funny that I'm sitting there watching football on the couch, and then I'm bitching about a player. That guy's hurt all the fucking time. Yeah, it's kind of disrespectful in a way. Yeah, but you know what's not disrespectful? The end of this podcast. Oh, yeah. The end. The end is now. Because I'm heading home. I'm walking into my door. And I'd like to thank you guys for putting up with or listening to the Sarcastically Speaking About Sports podcast. Good night. All right, wait, stop it. I had a couple more points that I forgot to. Number one, New Orleans Saints were on a bye, but I think they're 7-1 right now. Your boy Teddy Bridgewater, he held it down, but Drew Brees is back, and I know what the popular thinking is probably that Mr. Bridgewater is looking to get a starting QB job somewhere. But again, like I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, it's like he's good in that system. He was good to hold it together. I don't think he's a starting quarterback, but he's going to get some starting quarterback money. And last, Odell Beckham, his running mate, Landry? They at halftime it breaks that both of them are wearing these cleats. Landry he's got like the orange Nikes, and then Odell Beckham has got some. They look like the Joker clown shoes. At halftime, NFL officials go into the locker room and say, look, you can't. Those aren't official. They're not sanctioned. You can't wear that shit. So change them. My first thing is like, at first I'm just kind of like, who gives a shit what they're wearing? But you know what? It's the NFL. It's their rules. It's their corporation. You got to do. You're making the money. Whatever. So okay. So they come back out, and Odell Beckham Jr. comes out in some other crazy that's OBJ looking shoes, and I'm thinking, why don't you just put on some regular fucking cleats, man? Why must everything be like this struggle? That's my first inclination. My second is, who cares? Who cares? And once he starts talking about being oppressed and held down, dude, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I just see a guy who makes a lot of money and he's fucking bored with life. He's having an existential crisis. He's gotten everything. It's to push a fucking envelope. And I think with that, I'm going to end. We can start that back up. Start that ending back up. Crank it back up, baby.
Oh, yeah, that's at Headhunter Productions. You don't know nothing about that. Headhunter, son.